Sends shivers down your spine. Shrinking's gonna shock your soul and seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek. Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
Today we will be talking about an SCP that I haven't seen in a while. I remember first seeing it in a Roblox game, but that was when I didn't really know what SCPs are. So this SCP is number 173. So let's get right into it. SCP-173 moved to Site 19 in 1993, so its origin of it is yet unknown, so we actually don't know where it came from or what it does. Well, we know what it does, but we don't know where it came from. It is constructed from concrete and rebar with traces of Krylon brand spray paint on its face. You can probably see. It also has some on its butt too for some reason. SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. The objects cannot move while within a direct line of sight. Line of sight must not be broken at any time with this SCP. Personnel assigned to enter the container are instructed to alert one another before blinking. Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull or by strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 hazardous object containment procedures. So basically, don't blink and have more than one person with this SCP. Some more information on this thing is that it is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When people must enter his container, no fewer than 3 may enter at a time, and the door is to be relocked with them. At all times, 2 people must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the container. Personnel report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported to the acting HMCL supervisor on duty. Don't know what that stands for, but I suppose you could search it up. And apparently there's a reddish-brown substance on the floor. The origin of it is unknown, and the enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. It's blood. So SCP-173 is totally different from SCP-96. They are totally opposite. Like, number 96 doesn't want you to look at his face. But if you look at his face, he's hostile. But number 173 is hostile if you don't look at him. Ha! Funny, ain't it? The data from earlier is taken from SCP Wiki, and the following information will be taken from Unity Wiki. So, quote, SCP-173 displays awareness of its environment, reaching to changes and responding to stimuli when it's free to move. It is unknown if SCP-173 is intelligent or sapient. However, the statue is extremely hostile and will attempt to kill any human that enters its containment chamber if left unobserved. The sculpture is capable of manipulating the steel rebar to attack its victims, where it will attempt to snap the neck at the base of the skull or strangle the victim to death. However, alternate methods of attack and hostility towards humans have been recorded. For unclear reasons, 173 seems incapable of targeting unconscious individuals. The painted facial patterns of the sculpture alter over time as it is left unobserved. As the sapience of the object is yet to be determined, whether this change is dependent on any behavior state or is purely cosmetic is unknown. End of quote. Keep in mind, 173 cannot open doors too, so that's why he's in a containment chamber and he's fine, because he can't open doors. SCP-173 was actually made originally for a game called SCP Containment Breach. If you like horror and scaring yourself, the game is actually free. Even I might give it a try soon. Well, that would be all for today. There's much information on this SCP, although there's a whole game dedicated to it, so I guess there could be more research on it. I didn't decide to do a lot of research, but yeah. And maybe you could find out the information for yourself if you're into this kind of stuff. Well, that's it. Yeah. We'll return to the mythical creature next week. Gonna have to find out what will it be for you guys, but I already have that covered actually. So yeah, see ya.